Okay. I'm live. I haven't been live in a long time. Hi, Linda. There's some sage for you. I'm saging the space. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. I am live on TikTok and YouTube at the same time. Hello, 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 hello. How you doing? If you don't have any sage and you don't have Palo Santo wood, you need to get some. This needs to be a staple in every indigo home. Every indigo that is every person that's an indigo needs to have this around. Okay, this is what Palo Santo wood looks like. It's a little stick of wood, and it really smells good. I've been using this for years, and this is what I use to cleanse my space, cleanse myself. I cleanse my tools. I just be cleansing the whole daggone house. So the sage burning and Palo Santo wood at the same time. So I'm giving you all some that just entered the room. What are we going to be talking about? We're going to be talking about indigo people. So if you're an indigo, you think you're an indigo, you know an indigo, maybe you got indigo children, or your mother, your brother, your father, your sister, you think they was indigos. This is the channel. This is where we discuss indigos, period, point blank. And tonight, we're going to be doing, I know I posted here on TikTok and on YouTube, I posted sunfell.com, the information from there, but I wanted to just do it live in case you had any questions and I could answer them tonight right here live. And we're going to read it together. We're going to go over it together. I know some people do not have time to read, or they just don't want to read. So I'm going to read it for you. Okay, that's what I've been doing. This information has to get out to you. And the other part of this is we need 30,000 indigos to activate themselves. Get their Merkaba vehicle, get rid of this negative energy you got hanging around you. Take out some of these people, places, and things that are no longer serving you, because you came here to do a work. You came here to do a job. You came here to shake things up, not settle in and not conform and not, be rolling around here thinking that you're the same like everybody else. You're not. You're not the same as everybody else. Okay? So if I'm looking down, I'm looking at my computer because I'm reading. And if I'm looking up there, I'm looking at my phone because I'm, talking to TikTok over there too. So if you think you're an indigo, or you've been told that you're an indigo, you don't know what the heck an indigo is, then we're going to discuss that here. But we need, before we even get started with the sunfell.com, I do want to tell you how I became an indigo. Some of you may follow my channel and you already know that, but for those of you that are new, I'm going to tell you briefly how I found out I was an indigo and when. It was 2007. I am what is considered to be an alpha and a beta indigo. I'm like in between, all right? Alpha indigos are indigos that came a long time ago, around anywhere from 60 on back, even 62, 60, 65, halfway in between the 60s on back, to the 50s and the 40s. There's been some indigos that incarnated in the 40s and the 30s. If they're still alive, they're still here. Those are called alpha indigos. Some of them knew they were an indigo, knew they were different, but they didn't have a group. They didn't have community around them here. They were pretty much on their own, and they're like scouts. So they came here before the majority of us got here to just check out the lay of the land, so to speak. Some of them remembered who they were, some of them didn't. And I'm one of those that didn't know. I knew I was different. But I didn't know why. Some of you may be knowing that you're different and you just don't know why. And you don't have a clue as to what it is to be an indigo. And you're running around here and you're doing all this spiritual work, and I'm a seed worker, I'm a this, I'm a light worker, I'm a that. And honestly, you may be all those things, but really, you could just be an indigo. And the indigo came here to do specific work on this planet. You incarnated from the blue realm to come here to do a specific work. That's why you came, and that's why you showed up. So we're going to be talking about that tonight, and we're going to be talking about how many of you are on the planet and what it is that you came to do. I'm here to help you get yourself together, right? And apply your spiritual gifts, because a lot of you, your spiritual gifts are coming online and you don't even know what to do with it. Some of you think you're losing your mind and you're going crazy. You're not. You're not going crazy. You're just an indigo. So we're going to be going over who are the indigo people on sunfeld.com. Hopefully we can get through the whole thing tonight. And I'm also going to recommend, and if you want me to send it to you, I will. But I wrote a book on how to get rid of this negative energy, balance yourself immediately, pretty much immediately, and you will not have to do so many different things again. One of the things you have to really pay attention to, and I stress this all the time to my clients, you have to protect, as an indigo, you have to protect your energy at all costs, You have to. It's not just about burning your sage and Palo Santo wood. You have a frequency that others know probably before you do. And you may feel like you're coming under attack right now, or you may feel like there's people that are in your experience that are trying to do some not so nice things. The energy, the fight is on. The energy's tamped up. The negative energies that are on the planet right now, they know that their time is really, time is ticking for them, right? Time is ticking. And so they are trying to do as much, put you in such an illusion that you do not even believe your own intuition, if that makes sense. So it's really important that you start protecting your energy, and it's important that you activate, lean over here this way, you activate your Merkaba vehicle. And if you click my link up in my profile, it will take you to a page where you can get the book. You don't have to. If you don't have $7, send me a DM or an instant message, and I will send it to you. I need to get this book out to 30,000 indigos. That is my job. Because once it gets to 30,000 indigos, then you who have it will be able to help the planet ascend, as well as other indigos who don't have the book. Okay? All right. So we're going to get started with sunfeld.com. And I'm going to put the name of the website in the chat. How are you all doing, by the way? Are you an indigo? I know Linda is. Linda's here with me tonight on YouTube. And there's Shelly and Jorge and Don Juan and Franklin here. I don't know who else is here. But if you think you're an indigo, just put it in the chat, or put a question mark in the chat. you're not sure, in the comment section. And I'm going to write in the comment section where I'm getting this information from, because it's really important as an indigo that you understand who or what you are and where you came from. So it's sunfell.com. That's where we're going to start off. I did put some, did it go in? Yeah, there it is. I did put some videos on TikTok with the audio, and I did put some videos here on YouTube as well, because I'm doing both at the same time. I'm on YouTube and I'm on TikTok at the same time. So if you're on TikTok and you want to join me over on YouTube, because, you know, that's your platform, you can join me on YouTube. It's the Indigo Room. It's the Indigo Room. I was going to say the indigoroom.org, Linda. It's the Indigo Room on YouTube, and you found my page if you're here. This is my TikTok page. So in 2007, during a meditation, I found out that I was an indigo. I didn't know what an indigo was, had no clue. I was a spiritual being, having a human experience. I was, going to church. I had a near-death experience. Well, I like to say it's a death experience. I died, I came back. And that was in 2003. And so my whole life kind of changed. In 2007, I started a small talk show, podcast. Now that's what they're calling them. Back then they weren't called podcasts. It was very new. In 2007, called the Indigo Room. And the reason why it was called the Indigo Room was because before I had the podcast, I had, I guess you could call it a vision. And I was told that I was an indigo during this meditation. It was sort of like a trance. And I was taken to the blue realm, which is our home if you're an indigo. And I know this sounds crazy and fanciful, and if it does, it doesn't resonate with you, you certainly can leave. But I thought I was nuts. Thought, at that point, I was like, oh, this is crazy. But I was downloaded with a lot of information, and I was writing it all down as it was coming in. And I was told at the end to look up certain things and to see if it was true. And when I did look up these things, because, we had the internet in 2007. It wasn't like it is now, but I looked up those things, and yep, sure enough, everything that I had received in a download was true. Now that scared the bejesus out of me, I ain't gonna lie, right? Because I was like, okay, how is this happening? I didn't want to do what I'm doing now. Didn't want to do it. I was like, no, this is not for me. I'm not doing it. I can't, but it wouldn't leave me alone. And I just kept doing more research. And I stumbled upon this woman who had this website called sunfell.com, and it was the Indigo Files. Because again, I had never heard of an indigo. I didn't know what that was. And for lack of a better term, that's what we are called here on the planet, indigos. And I went and looked at her website and found some information. And the information described me to a T pretty much. And I was like, well, how does she know all this? And then I tried to reach out to her because I wanted to have her on my show. This was in 2007. The last entry on the website is March 3rd, 2003. So 333, March 3rd, 2003 was the last entry post on this website. I kept trying to reach out to this woman. I couldn't find her. Still, even to this day, I tried to reach out to her to find her. Can't find her. She's just gone. Okay. However, the website is still up. It has been up for 21 years. How does that work? Don't know, but I'm telling you that it's up there and you can go check it out yourself. The last copyright, the last entry was 2003, and Nothing has changed. Nothing has been added to it since. So I don't know how long this website is going to stay up. I don't know if someday I'm going to come on here and the website's going to be down. But before it's down, I need you Indigos who have never read this information and who are walking around here trying to figure out who am I, where I come from, why am I here, what is the reason why I'm on the planet, to go over to somefel.com and look at it for yourself and see if it resonates with you. Because soon that website's going to be gone. It's going to be at some point. I feel it in my soul. And so I have been vehemently, because she didn't want anybody to copyright anything. You had to get her permission. And I've been reaching out, trying to get her permission, but she's nowhere to be found. Okay? She's just gone. And this website is still up. 21 years, it's still up. So go check out somfel.com, sunfell.com. Okay? I don't know who's keeping this website going. I don't know. I'm not paying for it. I don't have nothing to do with it. So 21 years it's been there. I think it's waiting. It's waiting for you guys, right? It's waiting for y'all to go over and read it and get the information that you need so that you can do what you came here to do. That's my feeling. Okay? I could be wrong, but I don't think so. I have learned to trust my intuition above everything else, above all else, above anybody that is, walking on the planet. I trust me, my guides, my spiritual team. As an Indigo, you all have a spiritual team that is working for you and with you on your behalf. All you have to do, it's real easy. I know it's so simple, but it feels hard. All you have to do is reach out to them. You each one of you has your own spiritual team. Could you imagine? You think you're here by yourself. You think you're in here being crazy by yourself. You're not. You each have your own spiritual team. Did you hear what I said? It's a team. It's not like, you got one little guy that doesn't know what the hell he's doing or she's doing. You have an entire team. Each Indigo that's here on the planet right now. So there was an influx that came. I want to say late, maybe middle of the 60s on. Majority started coming in through the 70s, right? So there's a big group of you that are here right now that are like between your 40s and your 50s. You're what's called Generation X. There's a lot of you here. Not every one of you is an Indigo, but there's a lot of you here on the planet right now. And the information that I've been receiving, it's like I keep hearing 30,000, 30,000, 30,000. Not 144,000, but 30,000. 30,000 of you need to connect with Mellow Yellow. I know someone has been looking out for me. Yes, I bet you. If you just thought about it for half a second, like I was doing recently, you can pinpoint along your timeline incidents where you really should not be here right now. You really shouldn't. All the crazy things you did. I was thinking about, literally, I don't want to admit this, but I was driving, while intoxicated. Okay? Back in the day. There's no way that I did not. I should have been in a car accident. I should have been in several car accidents. Several. I should have been taken. Okay? and maimed or harmed or anything. I know that I was taken care of. And so each one of you, you can, if you think about it, you can backtrack. All indigos can backtrack their life and see moments when you really should not have been here. Your life should have ended. Or you may have been in a bad situation, or you didn't have any money, or you didn't have a home or something. And somehow you are in this live listening to me right now, right? So what I'm trying to say to you is this information on sunfell.com, you need to go over there. You need to really go over there and listen to it. Read it. Or you need to follow me on, there's nothing, I don't get nothing for you following me on YouTube. You know that, right? I have been doing this for years, and I have 567 subscribers on my channel. I'm not doing it for subscribers, and I'm not making any money over there. So if you just go over there, you will find that there's information for you. I have been putting information out here for y'all for a long time. A long time. And I keep doing it. There's some days I go, why am I doing this, God? Why? They're not listening to me. I can't find them. He said, just keep doing it. Okay, all right. I didn't want to do it to begin with. And here I am. So this woman created this website, Mellow Yellow. Oh, I know. Yes, you girl. Or Mel. Is that Mel? Mellow Yellow. Thank you for liking the live. So I'm going to read some of this stuff to you. And again, 30,000 indigos need to get yourself together. You need to get activated. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to believe me. You have to believe yourself. But if you feel inside of you that there's something specific that you came here to do, you know it. You got an inkling inside of you. You got this feeling like, I know I'm supposed to be doing something. What was it? What am I supposed to be doing? I know that I'm here for a reason. What is it? What am I supposed to be doing? Then this will probably help you. So I'm gonna post this up here on my YouTube channel. Hold on a second. And then I'm just going to read to you. So if you go to sunfell.com and you get to the home page, you can see what I see. You can start looking at what I'm looking at and see that the last entry, the last time this site was updated was, I'm sorry, not the 3rd of March, the 30th of March, 2003, 333. That was the last time it was updated. And if you know anything about angel numbers, you know that 333 is a really important number. All right. So when you go there, you want to click on the Indigo files, and the website still works. I don't know who's maintaining it. I'm baffled. This baffles me. It really does. So it says the Indigo files. These pages are personal. Hold on a second. I'm going to move this out of my way. Exploration and experience of the emergence of the Indigos and Octarian ray people into the world today. The Indigo, also called cobalt or blue phenomenon, has been widely discussed and examined in the New Age. It's a light bearer, ascension, etheric circles. But little has been written firsthand about what it is like to be an indigo. See, everybody's walking around here talking about, I'm a light worker, I'm a healer, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a star seed, I'm a this, I'm a that. Some of you may be those things, but some of you are indigos. And indigos are truly different from a light worker, or a star seed, or an empath. You're very different. You have everything. You are all of it. You are ancient beings from a realm far, far away. 12th dimensional being. That's what you are, really. And you have tools and gifts that you probably were told, you're from Satan, or, you're a demon, or whatever. You're an evil spirit. Some of you may have been raised in religious backgrounds. You're all over the planet, but you really, really, really are unique. And you're ancient beings. I know that there's a lot of people walking around here saying, oh, I'm an ancient royal being, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this. Indigos, you really are. Okay. Just before I lose myself, lose my spot. Lonely. Yes, but you're not alone. See, a lot of indigos are lonely. A lot. Why? Because you don't know that we're out here. We don't know where we all are. So that's why you have to get yourself activated, right? And start connecting with me, if you want to, here, either on TikTok or YouTube. In my Discord, I created a Discord specifically for y'all. I'm just sitting there, usually, me and my friend Linda, she's an indigo too. We'd be talking to each other. It's like, I don't know, 10 of us in there. And we just be talking to each other. When are they coming? I don't know. When are they coming? I don't know. If you build it, they will come. I don't know when they're coming, but I just got to keep coming out here and talking to you guys and hopefully find you. That's it. That's all I got. Well, it's not hopefully. I was told I would find you. I just have to find you, gather you up like a mother hen, and get you all together. Then you won't feel so lonely anymore. People don't understand you because you're an indigo. They're not supposed to understand you. You're unique. But when you start to understand you and you start to connect with other indigos, you won't feel so alone. That's the whole point of me being up here, looking like a crazy person. I just came across this kind of content. Okay. There's a reason why you're here then, Mello. There's a reason. There's no coincidence. I do not believe that. There is no coincidence in the universe. Everything happens for a specific reason. So we're going to go into part 1. Basically, what she has here is the Indigo Files paragraph, and she's talking about, why she created this. And I'm telling you, again, I think she created it and is being maintained, I don't know why or how, for all of you. And for me to get you to look at it. Don't believe me, believe her. Read it and then not believe her, but read it and see if it resonates with you. Yeah, the universe brought you here. That's right. So part 1, I have assembled here a list of the traits and potentials of indigo people. There are many indigo ray souls reading this who are still trying to figure themselves out and realize that they are different somehow. Let me just check and make sure that this is popping the way it's supposed to pop on the YouTube channel. Okay, hold on. Let me make it bigger. Let me see. Linda, can you see this? Hold on. Can you see the video? I mean can you see the words? Or is it still too small? Hold on a second. Full screen. Okay, is that better? The text is small. Okay, I tried to make it a little bit bigger. That's the best I can do. Hold on, let me see. Maybe I can make it a little bit bigger. Maybe I can make the text a little bit bigger. Let's see if I can make the text bigger. No, I don't think so. Oh, wait, here we go. I can make it a little bit bigger. Let's see if that works. How about that? Is that better? It's a little bit better. Yeah, okay. Yay, it's much better. All right, now I can't see it. No, I'm only kidding. Let me go back over here. So there's a traits and potentials of indigo people. There are many indigo ray souls reading this who are still trying to figure themselves out and realize they are different somehow, but don't know why. This work hopes to be of some assistance in sorting you out and pointing you in the right direction. It is written primarily for the adult indigos who find their way here. There are no accidents in the universe. Exactly what I just said. But applies to the younger indigo children too. The seeds of many of these traits are present in the children today. And again, this is from 2003. And it will flower into full power when they make it into adulthood. These traits and characteristics are based partially on my own experience and guidance as an indigo adult, and from talking and reading and corresponding with other adult indigos. Some are self-identified, others are not. I use the word we collectively and I personally. Who are the indigo people? Why are we here? What purpose do we serve? And are we a threat or an improvement? Some of us see us as a threat. Some of us see us as an improvement. It all depends on your state of mind. There are many here that see us as a threat. Many. You will find that there are people who are jealous of you. You will find that people don't know how to take you, just as Mellow Yellow said, don't understand you, misdiagnose you, call you crazy, all kinds of things. Are you one? Your child, someone you know. The world is shifting and changing. Old paradigms and cultures are dying, superseded by brilliant new ones. A change is happening. The apocalyptic mindset is setting, and the ascension mindset is rising. The world as we know it is at a cusp between great ages, and we are in a time of accelerated development as well as decay, both socially and spiritually. There is much confusion in the world as the old ways try to maintain their grasp on power, and new ways brighten the horizon and edge their way in. And if you even look at what was going on during the eclipse, right? You had a lot of fear mongering going on one side, and then you had people who were talking about the ascension on the other, and then you had folks in the middle that didn't know what the hell to do, right? They go, I don't know, should I go left, should I go right? It's all about balance. You got to find the balance in all of this. This explosive mix is evident in the public world. Road rage, wild children, indifferent parents, dogmatic fundamentalist evangelism, no holes barred radio and TV, and a previously impossible mix of stark prudishness and wild abandon. Even Rome wasn't this crazy when it fell. Even Rome wasn't this crazy when it fell. And they had lead poisoning as an excuse. As the previously impossible, as the Chinese curse states, we're living in interesting times, very interesting times. Headlines that would have shocked us a couple of decades ago now hardly rate a raised eyebrow. The wonders of science increase at such a rate that what was science fiction last week is science fact this week. I do want to also add that a lot of things that are science fiction are not fiction. Okay, just putting that in there. Add to this volatile mix a new spiritual species of human beings starting to make an impact on this world. They have been labeled electric blue, cobalt, and indigo. The various channels and prophecies because of the high frequency and emanations of their particular auras. Every living being has one, a field of energy that surrounds, permeates, and radiates from them. They can be sensed and even photographed with today's electronics. Psychically sensitive people have seen them forever. These field-sensitive people can see a dark electric blue, almost black auric outline around these people. Now, let me tell you something. I had someone who saw that around me, and they made it seem like my aura was a bad aura. And I've also been labeled many, many times on many occasions as good trouble. Literally, but just trouble. I would be called trouble because indigos have a tendency to see past the bullshit. We do. We see the bullshit in people, in places, in things. And when we speak truth. And we can't help it. It just comes out. And it comes out in a way that sometimes people take very offense at, or you start in trouble. I'm not starting trouble. I just call it as I see it, right? So you may have been told that you have a dark aura around you. It's not dark like in the negative sense as dark like, you're evil, like I was told. But you have a dark aura around you, which is indigo. This is how they get, when I say they, could be nefarious energies all around. They know who you are before you knew who you were. They will see your aura and go, oh, you have a dark aura around you. I need to do some spiritual work on you. I need to do some healing on you. And create all kinds of wiki-wackiness for you in your experience here on the planet, because your aura is not, light or white or bright or any of that, right? And so they are taught to believe that if you have a light, high, light, white aura, then that's good. Our auras aren't that color. And we are one of the goodest people on the planet. Let me just say that. Okay. So anyway, the highly sensitive people can see a dark electric blue, almost black auric outline around these people. It is the deep, brilliant blue of the clear sky after the sun has set. So if you look at the sun, right, look at the sky after it's set, that's the color. That's our auric color, indigo blue. And before the stars appear, a terminator or a cusp color. In the light spectrum, it is the next to highest visible band of light in the rainbow octave we can see. Highlights of violet, green, gold, and white are also apparent. I was called cobalt several years back by a sensitive spiritualist medium in England, but the most popular current title is indigo. For the sake of brevity, I shall use indigo also. And that's what I say. We are called indigo for lack of a better term. But it also applies to all people of this auric category. Much has been made of the current crop of indigo children being born, but indigos of the current group have been incarnate for just over 40 years. The earliest indigos born between the late 50s and late 70s had protective auric overlays of standard blue and violets and tans because the culture was not ready yet for the impact of pure indigos who started appearing in the mid-80s. These elders, that would be me, possessed the same capacities as the younger indigos, but had a longer latency period. This was for their own survival and protection. Elder indigos are just starting to come into their real power and act as guides, role models, and tutors for the youngsters who are now manifesting. They had to spend some time in the old world so they can help make the transition into the new. So we have alpha indigos, beta indigos. There's alpha, beta. What's the next one? There's like 5 different categories of indigos on the planet right now. 5 of them. We'll go over those too. I am one of those indigo elders. Throughout my life, I have been called an old soul. Many of you might have been called an old soul as well, and have experiences and insights that are outside the usual parameters for the life of a person of my culture and heritage. Even when I was young, I knew that I was different somehow, but no one could tell me why. And I asked everywhere, church, teachers, parents, mentors. No one could give me a straight answer. I finally learned the art of inquiring within, asking my higher self, my guidance. Establishing that contact and trust has thrust me into a whole new realm of inquiry and knowledge. I was given the gift of communication and the mission, should I care to accept it, and I did, of serving as a beacon of light and as an information wisdom channel. I serve with honor, humility, and the wonderful understanding that there is important work being done here, and I am an integral part of it. I am a member of a vast global family of light workers and spiritual craftspeople who are here to help the future of this lovely world and its inhabitants. We have been here a very long time. With the upgrades we bring, we'll be here even longer. I'm not trying to stay here forever, though. Just saying. This place is something else, y'all. This really is. It is impossible that you may know. It is possible that you may know an indigo, or you may be one yourself. Indigos vary wildly in their presentation. In the adults, there are 2 categories: those who are conscious of being an indigo and are coming into their inner power, and those who are latent and haven't quite made that inner connection with their gifts yet. The ones who made it are of all races and walks of life. But there will be that certain something about them, a presence, a charisma that sets them off from everyone else. They may not be rich or formally college educated, but if they give you advice or make a prediction or an observation, they'll be spot on. There's a depth of wisdom and knowledge within them that eclipses many highly educated sorts. They can be quiet and unassuming, but the successfully integrated, balanced, and self-actualized adult indigo has an aura of an ancient warrior sage about them. And even if they are very young, they will have wise old eyes and will see right into your soul. It is difficult to lie to them because they can turn those ancient eyes on you and strip the dishonesty right out of you. They have heard every lie, seen every scheme, done everything that there is to be done from the beginning of time, but they volunteered to return with all those eons of wisdom and experience intact. This is an awesome responsibility, but the indigo bears it with grace and humor. And see, here's where you may feel lonely, because ain't nobody like you on the planet, or in your group of friends or in your family. I happen to have 2 indigo sisters. There's how many of us? There's a lot of us in my family. a whole lot. Okay. And I have 5 sisters that I was raised with. Then my mom had 2 more kids afterwards. So there's 7 girls, 7. Only 3 of us are indigos. Okay. So there you have it. The later and the latent and not yet manifested older indigos are often the result of harsh mistreatment or misunderstanding as children, or being told over and over by parents and authorities that their visions had no meaning, or their sensitivities were fake, or worse, they are insane. The psychic pain of this malfunction of assimilation and actualization causes them to truly go mad or turn to alcohol or drugs for comfort from the pain. With time and care, even those seemingly hopeless ones can find some measure of peace, get in touch with their gifts and potentials, and live to serve as they came here to serve. See, you're the chosen because you chose to come. Nobody made you come. You chose to come. Just like I chose to come back here to help wake the rest of y'all up, y'all chose to come here too. You chose to come. That's why you're called the chosen ones. There's people walking around here saying, I'm the chosen one, I'm the chosen one, I'm the chosen one, I'm chosen, I'm a chosen one, I'm a chosen one. Indigos chose to come. We don't walk around calling ourselves chosen ones. We don't walk around saying that I've got this kind of spiritual gift. I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. You just are that. You're just being that. That's your natural self. But you've been told over and over and over and over and over and over through your lifetime that no, no. I'm here to tell you, yes, yes, yes. And so is Lori A. Johnson. She's the woman that wrote all of this information. So I'm going to go over to part 2. Let me just check on YouTube. My YouTube people. Goodness, that explains why, Linda says, that explains why I saw auras as dark instead of colors like other people did. Yep, that's why, Linda. That's why. Okay. So that's why, Linda. Okay. Can you still see it, or is it better when I take my face off the screen and you can read it from there? I'm talking to my YouTube people over here now. Is it better if I just have the full screen, or do you need to see my face and reactions? Which one works better on this side? Because I'm going to continue reading on part 2. So did any of what I read so far resonate with you? Those of you that are here, that are still here with me, did any of what I read so far resonate with you? Did it make sense to you? Does it feel right to you? Is it helpful to you? If it is, just, tap that like button or put a little note in the bottom there and say, yes, yes, my name is Sydney. Say, yes, Sydney, it works. Okay, cool. She said she can read it fine. Awesome. Thank you, Linda. All right, let's get back. This may be a while. I may be here a while reading tonight. I always knew that I was different, not only in appearance from my peers, but also different inside, in my mind and in my thoughts. I used to be made fun of all the time when I was younger, going to school. I loved school. But I also hated school because I really didn't have any real friends. And because I was just weird. I was the weird kid. I was the weirdo. Just weird. You have your own little funky ways of dressing. And you just have your little old... And I was the tallest one in the classroom, which, I'm an Amazon. See, if I stand up, I'm really tall, right? So I've been like that since I was 5. I've been a tall drink of water. So But I was a weirdo. I was considered a weirdo. And, but inside, like my thoughts and and things that I thought about, kids my age wasn't thinking about that stuff. I would tell my childhood peers things that made perfect sense to me or to an adult, but would go completely over their heads. I was soon labeled a weirdo and shunned. I didn't know it at the time, but most of the stuff that I just knew had to do with the semi-conscious realization that I had been here before. I was just, yes, I'm a believer. I was just doing my own thing. Yeah, that's how I was. That's how I was. I was just doing my own thing. Didn't know it was weird. Even now, as an adult, I'm still just doing my own thing. I'm so happy sometimes just being by myself, reading a book, working on my computer, doing investigative work, studying, finding out how stuff works. What this that. That's me. My neighbors now, because my dog passed away in September, my baby. I had her for 16 years. She passed away in September. She was getting ready to be 17. And she got me out of the house. She got me out of my apartment every day. I walked her every single day. So since she's gone, I go out, right? But like, I don't go out. I could be in here all day, putzing around in my apartment. I could be here all week, and that's what happened. Like I go out, I take out the trash, I go out to the grocery store, and I'm back in my apartment, working, tinkering on building stuff, creating stuff, figuring out stuff, doing computer programming, reading books, I'm very comfortable right here. I'm just a happy camper. So much so that my neighbors who used to see me every day, sometimes they would see me 4 times a day, started wondering where the hell I was. Did she move? Is she dead? Is she okay? What happened? No, my dog died. And so there's no reason for me to walk 4 times a day. I'm inside. I'm doing my inside work. That's what happened. So a lot of indigos are introverts. I am an introvert. I'm extroverted introvert, if that makes sense. Go ahead, say that 3 times. 3 times fast. I didn't know it at the time, but most of the stuff that I just knew had to do with semi-conscious realization that I have been here before. I say semi-conscious because the veil this life puts over the connection to the higher self is a heavy and distorting one and takes many years and much effort to remove or penetrate. But even when I was very small, I had a sort of been here, done that, now what attitude. The only things that interested me were things that were new, the current science, technology, and innovations that made life in the mid-late 20th century unique and unlike any place or life I'd ever lived before. As I grew older, I had a sense of emerging from a fog. As the reasoning connections were made in my mind, things became clearer and clearer to me. It was palpable sense. Each day brought more light and understanding into my life. I could almost feel the neurons connecting in my mind. All of these traits are common in elder indigos as well as with the younger ones. The typical indigo has a very high intelligence, but it is often masked by underachieving. How about that? Thank you. Thank you, Mello. You would have liked her. I think I have a video here of her on my page. It is often masked by underachieving. In my life example, my IQ was higher than that of the valedictorian in my high school, and my guidance counselor could not understand why I didn't care about making straight A's. Instead of the mixture of A's and B's that I had, I shrugged. It really wasn't that important to me in the long run. And besides, I had the tools and the will to learn what I wanted to learn, not to fill in the blanks of what I should learn. School to most indigos is a necessary evil, something to be endured and escaped from as soon as possible. Our way of learning things is holographic. And we intensely dislike merely skimming a subject. Yes, that's me. We want to know, to remember everything about it. We're wired that way. Our interests are intense and passionate. The internet has been a godsend for me because I now have vast sums of accumulated knowledge and information at my fingertips. With it, I can drill down to the depths unimaginable when I was in school. Because she's a much older indigo, that's, when back in the day when I was going to school, we didn't have the internet. Everything was in books. We had Britannica encyclopedias in my house. I don't even think it was the Britannica. It was some other encyclopedia collection that my dad bought. But he did have it. He bought it for us. And I would be in there just pouring through that, reading it. I was reading at age, before I even went to kindergarten, I was reading books. So it was like that kind of kid. I was that nerdy kid, like I am now, the nerdy adult. Another one of, maybe you guys are like that as well. Another one of the main characteristics of indigos of all ages is iconoclastic, sometimes cynical outlook on life. We've seen it, done it, show us something interesting and new. And we don't mean cheap popular media entertainment either. We have a inbuilt understanding that what is reported on the media and through official channels is what they want you to know and believe, and not what is necessarily true. We are very aware that 90% of what is on the tube, radio, or paper is pure manufactured nonsense. We seek the other 10%. Our belief that sacred cows make great hamburgers sometimes gets us into trouble with people who are rigidly hardwired into their belief system. We ask impossible questions of our religious teachers and ministers, often getting into trouble or even tossed out. I've been tossed out of a lot of good churches. But what they say is good churches. Or even tossed out for being disruptive. We do not suffer fools gladly, no matter who they are. Authority figures have to earn that authority in the eyes of our youngsters. We want to understand the motivation behind the collar, the badge, robe, or other power symbol. We care less about the uniform. We want to understand the wearer. Of course, this can lead to trouble. What did I say at the beginning? What was I called all the time? People used to say it all the time when they would see me. I was like, who? I don't even know you. I just met you. Here comes trouble. What? I used to get offended. Now I just laugh. I'll be like, yeah, okay. So you can see my indigo aura coming before it greets you. You felt my energy coming in the door before you even met me. Now I'm like, yeah, trouble's coming. Ha! To us, this is living a lie. Oh, wait. We want to understand the motivation behind the collar, the badge, the robe, or other power symbol. We care less about the uniform. We want to understand the wearer. Of course, this can lead to trouble with insecure authority figures, those who rely on their laurels, uniforms, to exact obedience. To us, this is living a lie, which is abhorrent to us. This doesn't refine itself as we mature. Nope, it gets worse. But we also refine our BS detector. 2, the blunt, unapologetic opinions and disregard for authority of the younger indigos may lead to problems with colleagues, friends, or families. They have to learn that good manners and submission to commonly recognized authority aren't just arbitrary rules. They're the lubricant of social interaction and order, that kindness isn't a lie. It is a means of social survival. If you are a parent of an indigo child, you must instill that this at a very early age. Explain things to us, we'll get it. And because God, some dusty authority said so, just doesn't cut it. You know, like when your parents said, well, you can't go to Johnny's house because I said so. Like, you know, you got to give an indigo a reason why. Like, I used to get popped. I was raised a Jehovah's Witness. Woo! And I used to we would sit in the Kingdom Hall. I used to get popped in the back of my head. My father had these big fat fingers. He was a New York City fireman. And he had these big hands and big fat fingers, and he used to pop us in the back of our head if we. And you know, I was always asking questions. I'm surprised that my pineal gland didn't explode back then, because he used to pop us so bad, so hard. Anytime we would ask questions during the Jehovah's Witness meeting, holy smokes. Okay. We are in possession of very high functioning lie detector capability. We can almost see people or corporate entities being untruthful. Sometimes this disgusts or even enrages us, especially if the lie is harmful to others. As a group, we are different to hypnotize. We are difficult. As a group, we are difficult to hypnotize. I could never get hypnotized. Never. Ever. Maybe you were one of those people too. I said, yeah, please hypnotize me. I know when I was trying to quit smoking, I was trying to quit smoking and doing the whole hypnosis thing. It didn't work. Did not work at all. People I know can get hypnotized, not me. As a group, we are difficult to hypnotize unless genuine trust is established. We also have a low tolerance for hard sells, logos, brandings, and trends, and are extremely difficult to con unless we have become emotionally vulnerable through neglect. Now, some indigos who are not awake yet, they can be easily conned. Okay? Just saying. But it'll only happen once. And if it does happen, and if the con artist or manipulator rips off an indigo emotionally, that individual develops an uncanny nose for spotting them and gleefully unmasking them. In spite of our apparent cynicism, we also have an exceptional sense of humor, because we can see the absurd twists of cultural and social interaction. Its expression is rarely base or primitive, but often cynical or dry in expression. We are more than capable of collapsing people in laughter with an offhand remark. I know I'm always making people fall out laughing, and I don't see it funny. I'm just stating fact. You know, I'm just making a statement. Maybe that is something that you've experienced too. You might be an indigo. You know, you just making a statement and people go, oh my God, oh girl, you're so funny. I don't see myself as funny. I'm just making an observation and telling you what I see. Many indigos, both young and old, have great affinity for speculative fiction. Verify to continue. Okay. I've never seen that before. I got a puzzle piece that came across my screen just now from TikTok that I had to slide across and verify to continue. Okay. So many indigos, both young and old, have great affinity for speculative fiction, science fiction, fantasy, role-playing games, and other aspects of fandom. This comes from our inability to fit the normal social interactions with our peers. We want to escape with good books, and sci-fi is the most intellectually stimulating and challenging sort of fiction there is, along with whodunits and techno thrillers. What if is one of our favorite questions, and sci-fi plays with it marvelously. Role-playing games are also get us out our skins, and the accompanying miseries of adolescence. Our gameplay may taper off as we become adults, and enter the working world, but it never quite goes away. That's why I go into the metaverse. I play in there. I'm a big gamer player. Not gamer player. I like to play those games, especially puzzles, things that I have to solve. That's why I like coding and programming, because it's problem solving. I can do that all day. Our love of gameplay helps us to develop excellent pattern detection and recognition faculties. This helps us to easily solve puzzles, be it for recreation or in our jobs with troubleshooting and complex problems. We really enjoy playing games like Go or chess. We are quite capable of planning several steps ahead and imagining branching paths. That many adult Indigos are computer programmers or network system engineers isn't a fluke. It's a puzzle game we get paid big bucks to play. Indigos also like to understand how things work and won't accept black box explanations for the technology in our lives. Even if we can't fix it themselves, we like to understand the soul of the item in their possession, be it a cell phone, DVD player, microwave oven, TV, or computer. If we ask you how it works, we really want to know. Because of our abilities in this regard, we have excellent prognostic capabilities. If we say that present conditions will lead to something happening, please pay heed. We are usually right, and sometimes we'd rather not be. Our marked capacity for seeing the big picture or deeply viewing distant consequences can be a source of misunderstanding and difficulties for us. We tend to think in decades, not weeks, and in long term rather than in short term. We'd rather get rich slow than get rich quick, because we know that we can lose it. We know that we can lose it all just as quickly. We like instant gratification as much as anyone else, but we also distrust its quality. We prefer to take our time to let things play out and do things right. We are not shallow planners. Money is just a symbol to us. We have a hard time understanding why people chase it and its status symbols. We drive a car to pieces and happily live in nice older homes. Secondhand furnishings do not bother us. If it is functional, we'll use it. Another manifestation of indigo gifts is an almost uncanny understanding of different languages, even without formal training. It is almost as if the audible layer of the language has been made transparent to us, and we can see and understand the inner intent of the speaker. This applies to animals as well. We also have a very good musical ear. I have yet to meet an indigo who sings off tune. Along with this innate understanding of languages, indigos are very good at changing their personality shell to suit the person being communicated with. If they are in sales, which can be really rough on an indigo, they are capable of making almost anyone they meet, no matter how diverse they are from the indigo's own background, comfortable. Many of us are left-handed or ambidextrous. That is part 2. So did any of that resonate with anybody that's still here and listening? Did that resonate with you, Mel? Mellow Yellow? Any of those characteristics? Linda said, I'm an introvert. Yeah, I'm an introvert too. So we're going to go on to part 3. And let's see, what's next? I'm trying to just do it all. I'm trying to get through it all. So part 3, but I do get like, when I'm reading it, I get nerdy. Because it's like, yes, this is me. Pretty much, not everything, but a lot of it. Indigos, this is part 3. Indigos have very rich and sensuous tastes in music, food, scent, color, and other sensual expressions. Linda, you know you have that thing with, uh, you're an artist and, with the colors and all the things that you create. Well, I'm an artist too, but in a different way. Adult indigos are often connoisseurs of music, food, perfumes, art, clothing, or other sense-dense items. They're the ones who will be able to pick out many of the ingredients in perfumes if they have studied perfumery. They also like to dissect the various flavors in foods and wines. The same also applies to music. Musical preferences tend toward high calorie and complex sorts, ambient, classical, dense world of fusion, jazz, and other iconoclastic forms. Indigos can become a real authority in their chosen fetishes, be it food, color, music, or scents. They also have a love of tactile expression, too, like loving silks, velvets, and other rich tactile expressions. They seek a certain spiritual presence in the art objects they own, and also prefer it in their everyday lives too. This may seem nearly eccentric to an outsider, but it is essential for the comfort of the indigo soul. Indigos are often solitary souls, preferring their own company to that of a large group. Yep, that's me. We prefer the company of peers and would rather be alone than in a group of sleepers, people who are not spiritually awakened. Hello. We also need time to ourselves to recharge our spiritual batteries, even if we have highly social jobs. If we close the door of our offices or withdraw into the bedroom, it is because the noise of the world around us is almost overwhelming. We tend to be very sensitive to noise, heat, humidity, crowds, and strong odors. It's just the way we are. Indigos are also unusually needy of deep sleep. I'm that person. My father used to be so mad at me back in the day because I could sleep, child. I am not a morning person either. I'm not. Okay? You will not see me happy if I have to get up at the crack of dawn. It's not going to happen. Woo, child. Just let me get in my bed. We tend to be very sensitive to noise, crowds, heat, humidity. It's just the way we are. Indigos, hi, Tiger Bear. That's my cat. He's very loud. There he goes. He comes in here. He usually comes in here. I'm surprised he's in here this early. He usually comes in at midnight to tell me that it's time to go to bed. What are you doing up on the computer? Go to bed. Then he jumps up on the computer and he will not move. The rest of the cats, they don't care. Him, he's like, yo, what are you doing? Okay, come on up here. Come over here. Come on, Tiger Bear. There you go. All right. Where was I? Oh, it's just the way we are. Indigos are also unusually needy of deep sleep and can be very difficult if awakened abruptly or unnecessarily. Okay? Very difficult. It is painful to us. Okay? Just want to say that. So if you must awaken us before we are ready, do so gently. That's all I'm trying to say. Because I'm not responsible for what may happen to you if you wake me up abruptly. Okay? Just putting it out there. Indigos are very attracted to the supernatural. Oh, sorry, I skipped a paragraph. Sexual intimacy is a take it or leave it thing for us. Well, some of us. Some of us is a take it or leave it thing. We just don't get it. All the obsession with sex. Well, yeah, I'm really not obsessed with it though. Perhaps it is because we prefer to commune at a soul-to-soul level, and casual sex precludes that. We are not dysfunctional, but we don't go chasing after it either. No, that's true. I surely don't. Well, that's true for me. I don't know about everybody else. And if we don't get it, we don't miss it. And we're not wound up in our gender identity either. We are souls first, people of gender second. Female indigos are often accused of thinking like guys. And vice versa. I haven't read this in a long time. Actually, so it's always good to reread it again. Actually, the capabilities of both genders are available for the adult indigos to use if they are comfortable with themselves. Indigos are very attracted to the supernatural, metaphysical, and cutting edges of both scientific and spiritual understanding. Often, they seek out spiritual paths that are far from the mainstream, often fringe, and just emerging. If they do practice a mainstream faith, they do so with the full awareness of its shortcomings and seek to utilize the benefits of their faith for peace and spiritual comfort. Many, myself included, become eclectic spiritual practitioners, understanding the unity that underlies the many faiths of humanity. They happily synthesize the tenets and the wisdom of these faiths into a harmonious whole, which greatly enhances both their lives and the lives of those around them. They do not evangelize. However, I just wrote that today. I'm not dragging nobody kicking and screaming. Okay. I'm not beating you about the head. I don't do that. I'm not an evangelizer. But I will guide you if you ask me. They do not evangelize. However, they understand that spiritual understanding and insights is an individual path. They eschew cults and seek to teach independence and self-understanding rather than dependence and self-ignorance. Elder indigos who have been students of metaphysics, religion, and the occult are very aware that many occult techniques, rituals, and beliefs no longer apply as the world progresses out of the Piscean influence into the Aquarian one. This can lead to conflict and isolation if they attempt to share this insight with established traditional practitioners. Solitary practitioners will create new techniques more in harmony with current energies. Elder indigos use intuition combined with knowledge of various metaphysical disciplines to create new systems of operation. Hence, getting your Merkaba vehicle activated. It's really important for indigos to do that. We need to get 30,000 on board. That's what's necessary right now. Okay. Many of the elder indigos are either unmarried, divorced, without remarriage, childless, child-free, or both. The strong sense of mission that we were born with sometimes seems to preclude normal lifestyles, relationships, and goals. We did not get the life script that everyone else seems to want to follow blindly and often eschew the American dream of the house with the white picket fence, spouse, 2.5 kids, minivan, SUV, and the rest of it. If we do marry, it is to someone who understands us implicitly and realizes that our many quirks and idiosyncrasies are rare and special gifts, and we're not nuts. See, that's the person that you got to be with. And I just want to add that the majority of the indigos that are still on the planet today do have a twin flame or a soulmate that's here. Okay? I don't know where they are exactly on the planet, but they're here. And it's your, if you connect with them, that's even better. But I mean, some of you will and will not connect with each other, but you all have one. Wondering if we are nuts is a major problem with unrealized indigos. Sadly, many of the elder generation of Indigos had problems with understanding and utilizing their gifts or coping with their sensitivities. Suicide was a common out for some, I didn't mean to say that word out loud, but you know what I mean, was a common out for some in their youth, and drug and alcohol abuse plagued others. Loneliness and isolation also took their toll, although this is lessening with the mainstreaming of the internet and greater ease of finding peers. That's why we're here. That's why I'm here to help you all find your peers, right? Help you find other indigos so you don't feel lonely. Loneliness and isolation, depression often results, but it is treatable. If you're an elder indigo and have survived this far, congratulations, the worst is behind you. Put your life in order, accept and explore your gifts, ask your guidance to help you get on track, and remember your real reason for being here. All indigos wrestle with depression. Most of this is caused by lack of proper light. Seasonal affective disorder can be as devastating as a major depression, but can be easily and clearly and fairly cheaply treated and without drugs. Using dawn stimulators and banks of full spectrum lighting will shoo away the black moods and lethargy that accompanies this disorder. Older indigos may also have problems with deeply buried rage, a leftover from their sometimes traumatic childhood. Many of us were bully magnets and bear deep scars from childhood bully encounters, slights, and exclusions by our normal peers. This buried rage can surface in unexpected ways, triggered by unexpected events. The best way to deal with this rage is to get a handle on it and make it a tool instead of a time bomb. Redirecting it in martial arts or heavy exercise and activities that physically exhaust the body will help to tame it. Try to remember that the bad days are over. You are now your own person and responsible for your actions. Part 4. Indigo homes are interesting places, often reflecting the owner's diverse tastes in books, music, decor, and everything else. We span the spectrum in organizational skills, but the typical indigo dwelling is a symphony of elegant chaos, often cluttered and packed with books and papers. Now, if you can see behind this screen here, well, some of you can on YouTube, you can see, but if y'all can see on TikTok, I got books for days, clutter everywhere. But I know where all my books are pretty much for the most part. We span the spectrum in organizational skills, but the typical indigo dwelling is a symphony of elegant chaos, often cluttered and packed with books and papers, but not filthy. It's that learning thing. Our homes won't make it into decorator magazines, but we know where everything is and are comfortable with it. This doesn't mean that we don't get clutter fatigue. There is a certain stage of life where accumulation has to give way to dispersal. And there is a great soothing quality in orderly, uncluttered spaces. Make sure that you have at least one uncluttered, non-chaotic space in your home to soothe your eyes and soul. For me, it's the bed. It gets made when I get out of it, and I do not allow it to hold my clothes, books, or other clutter. Well, I do. Okay. My bed has books and clothes on it. Okay. I sleep in it by myself, so my books are on there. My journal, if I wake up in the middle of the night and, I'm being taught, like I go to school, sometimes my guides take me on a tour while I'm sleeping, do lucid dreaming, and they teaching me stuff. And while I'm there and I'm learning or relearning or remembering, I wake up and then, I have to write stuff down. So I have to have my notebook handy and a pen right there. The neat expanse of quilted bedspread is a stark contrast to the business of the rest of the room. I am gradually trying to bring some serenity to the rest of my home, but it will take time. Older indigos who have managed to evade the pitfalls of loneliness and isolation often revel in their eccentrics. I can never say that. Eccentricities. Eccentricities. I said it. Oh my God. Their sense of comfort and acceptance of who and what they are makes them attractive to others. They are often popular with their peers in spite of their need for solitude. Part of it is their ready wit. Much of it is their quiet wisdom. When they choose to participate in parties and social events, they often become the center of attention, whether they want to or not. This is because they have a natural charisma and attract people. Beauty does not enter into this. This charisma is spiritual. They will often attract lost souls. I've been attracting lost souls since I was a kid. Random people would just all of a sudden start talking to me, telling me their business. I don't know you. I don't know you, lady. Sit down next to me on the ferry. I'll be riding the ferry, going to work. Somebody sits down, they just start telling me their life story. I'll be like, okay, why? I don't even know. Do I have something written on my forehead? I used to ask. This was before I found out I was an indigo. It's like, why do people always just follow me? Just start talking to me, telling me their business. I don't get it. And then I would sit and I would listen, give my advice, and they'd be going on their merry way. Crazy. But that's because you're an indigo. And that's why. They will often attract lost souls who need a catalyst to break out of their delusions or people on the verge of awakening themselves. Self-actualized indigos are rarely dogmatic or egotistic. They simply live their lives, never question, as best they can, pay back, perhaps for all the questions they asked as a child, and gently steer seekers towards their own solutions. Indigos don't actively seek glory or status and prefer to be followers rather than leaders. This isn't because of any lack of ability. They just understand that their real gifts lie elsewhere. They're not afraid to be the dissenter in a group. If they see the truth in something, they'll stick to it, even if others disagree. Hung juries are often the results of one indigo seeing the big picture while the rest of the jury does not. They also are capable of seeing both sides of an argument and are often called upon to mediate in disagreements. Yes, we can and often do argue with ourselves. We talk to ourselves a lot too. Yep, all day long. I was talking to myself before I started this show. We intensely dislike conflict. As kids, adult indigos often distance themselves from quarreling adults and ducked out of quarrels with peers. We preferred peace and harmony in our world. Well, that's when the Taurus in me will kick in, okay? Because I will take peace for so long. Then the bull comes out. And it's my birthday month. Well, not really. May is my birthday month, but we're in Taurus season right now. Our younger generation, lacking that protective layer that insulated us from knowing too much too soon, proactively tries to quell arguments in person, which looks like extreme risk-taking to us. But all indigos, young and old, understand the underlying desire to create harmony, tolerance, compromise, mutual understanding, and trust. As our younger generation's big picture capacity grows, as they learn history and culture, they will greatly refine these diplomatic skills so necessary for us to move into the next stage of our evolution. Although it may sometimes seem like indigos are out of sync with the common culture, this isn't true at all. In fact, they may be more in sync with the genuine reality than most people who are under the spell of popular culture realize. This often eccentric visionary capability of the indigo is a great gift, for they can truly see the forest from the trees. The difficult part for all indigos, young and old, is to simultaneously function in two powerful realities at once, the spiritual and the cultural, without losing the thread of either. This is especially difficult for the younger indigo arrivals because they lack the protective psychic overlay or protective veil that permitted their elders to gradually assimilate themselves into the local culture and grasp its functions. This lack of a protective wrapper results in a seemingly bratty, often uncontrollable child, one who has difficulty processing the rapid fire signals that the culture today sends to them. The indigo child has essentially been tossed into the pool of this life without testing the waters as the elders did. Being born old soul, but still wearing the body of a child is especially galling to the younger indigos because the veil for them is not lifted gradually as they mature, as it was for us elders. For them, the veil wasn't there at all. This can be very difficult for their parents. They were expecting a blank slate of a child to write their traditions and expectations upon, and instead get a fully realized, cognizant being with a mind and will of its own from a very young age. And it can be difficult for the youngsters who, unshielded, are bombarded with the rapid fire sensual assault, not the other word, of the late 20th and early 21st century. They compensate by speeding themselves up and dividing their sponge-like attention to detail too finely. The result is a child who pings off the walls and has the apparent attention span of a gnat. They are learning, but not in the manner expected. All indigos are knowledgeable sponges, constantly wanting to know more and never satisfied with what is offered. A lot of indigo elders with financial problems are a direct result of lingering in expensive colleges too long. The additional fact that indigos generally do not produce indigos, if they reproduce at all, only adds more difficulty to an already tough situation. Older indigos generally avoid bearing offspring because of the memories of their own peer isolated and often traumatic and lonely childhood. They do not want to put their own children through that particular hell. Youngsters arriving face two extremes of apparent conditioning: total surrender, lack of proper discipline, and thus the failure to assimilate the child into the culture, drugging the child, or worse, or total old style dominance, breaking the spirit of the child again, drugging abuse, or even early, demise. It is a tricky path to deal with the cuckoo's egg of an indigo youngster in one's midst. But with the right materials and support, along with the counsel of the indigo elders, which I am a part and am able to pull down, there can be more success than failures. The key is to understand that this is an old soul in a youngster's body, a soul who is struggling with controlling the primitive impulses of a child. Give them room to learn and make mistakes. Give them boundaries for their safety, but do not blast them with pop culture noise and flash. And most important of all, answer their questions honestly. The indigo soul, young or old, is unique to this world. We are not invaders, we are advancers. The work that we are here to do is for the benefit of all upon this planet, as well as the planet itself. Ours will be the first generation of humans who will leave the earth better than we found it. Elder Indigo Guidance. So I'm going live for 90 minutes. All right, so we've been on here for 90 minutes, almost 2 hours. I may do this, may have to finish the rest of this tomorrow, but I'm going to read this last portion. I think I can do that. And then implore you to read the rest yourselves. Go over there. There's still some more left, some more information to look at. But this is really interesting. You know what? I do want to go back. There's one section I do want to hit, and that's the generations. and where we all fit in. The people, this is called Indigo Generations. This is also part of the Indigo files. The people of the Indigo Blu-ray, or the blue ones, have been on this planet for a while, but have not manifested in such great numbers for a very long time. There has always been a random sprinkling of indigos in the population and in all generations, but these people were fairly rare before the final third of the 20th century, and indigos have been with us since the dawn of time, and many have contributed much to our advancement. Some were famous, some were not. All were unique and gifted. The current heavy surge of indigo arrivals have manifested in 5 distinct and discernible decants or generations of 1 decade each. Each generation has distinguishing characteristics, auric veils, and awakening Saturn return years. I have listed them here for clarity. So we have generation 1, which is the alpha, which is what I told you that came between 1958 and 1968. And they were born with blue, gray, violet overlays, camouflage with tan. Saturn return awakening years for this generation was 1986 through 1996. That's age 28 for each year. This generation is now in their post-awakening years and is in the process of rediscovering and recovering their gifts. Some are currently transiting into their octarine phase. So I am between the alpha and the beta. Generation 2, which is born between 1968 and 1978. This generation also came in with the blue, green, violet overlays, but without the tan camouflage. The Saturn return awakening years for this generation were 1996 and 2006. This generation is also post-awakening. So just pay attention to where you fall in. Generation 3, which is Gamma. That's the one I couldn't remember. Born between 1978 and 1988. Here is the first generation of minimally overlaid indigos. If they have an overlay at all, it is generally violet with some appearances of crystal octarine. This is where some of the earliest manifestations of apparent ADD and ADHD in indigo children began. Saturn return awakening for this generation will be from 2006 to 2016. That already happened. And then there's generation 4, which are Delta, 1988 to 1998. The first of the pure indigos with no color overlay at all, only the highly chameleonic crystal octarine. Those are the wildest of the apparent ADD, ADHD group, and guidance states that it is possible that it is the rapid fire overstimulation by the public media of this time acting on the crystal overlay that is driving the indigo child to distraction. Suggestions of the use of slower rhythms and deep warm colors in the environment rather than the use of drugs may stop these oscillations that make them ping off the walls and give the crystal octarine element in their overlays something to use for grounding. This will also soothe the indigo child when he or she is overstimulated by the noisy, flashy environment. It will also make their transition into adolescence smoother. This group will have the hardest puberty, and if not carefully monitored, the highest drug and alcohol, and you know what rate of all the cohorts. For this group, Saturn's return awakening will be from 2016 to 2026. And you can see that actually happening right now. So elder indigos need to get it together, right? We need to help the younger ones not ping off the walls, not be overstimulated, and help them be able to do what they came here to do. My job is to help indigos figure out what it is they came here to do. Get y'all together. Help you awaken, help you get activated, help you snap out of the illusion. That's what my job as the elder indigo is. Her job was to share this information as an elder indigo. My job is to gather you all up together, shake you up, like, no, but not really, but kind of, and get you all together here. So we have the last, which is generation 5, and that is the Omega, which is 1998 to 2008. And according to my guidance, this will be the last decade of pure indigos and the end of the major cohorts. They may have as many difficulties in acclimatizing themselves to the environment as the Delta generation, and depending upon the local conditions, may have an extremely difficult childhood. Many of these indigos will be born of earlier indigos, and some will be reincarnations of alpha and beta generation indigos who chose to leave early, depending upon local conditions. This generation will experience its Saturn return awakening from 2026 to 2036. Other elements may speed up or back off the timetable. The number of people of the indigo ray will drop off sharply during this generation. They will still be born, but not as many. If you are a beta generation indigo on the verge or are presently in the midst of your Saturn return period, this guidance should help you. It is very rare to see a fully awakened person under the age of 30. For indigos, this difficult time serves to strip away the overlays and camouflage and reveal to them their true potential and psychic capabilities. The transitory period for an indigo is generally longer than that of a normal person, sometimes up to 3 years. Indigos may feel totally naked without their overlays, and if they do not understand what is happening to them, which I didn't, and which many of us don't, they may panic and think they're going mad. Careful direction, close peer contact, and compassionate guidance is essential during this vulnerable times. You will make it. And wonders will await you on the other side of this passage. And there's just one note. These dates and generations are not set in concrete. If you were born before Alpha, and that doesn't diminish your status at all, there were just fewer of you around. There will always be indigos in the population, but sometimes there are more than other times. And this information was modified in 2002. And again, nothing has been added here since. Nothing. 21 years, no updates. So that is pretty much what I wanted to share with you tonight. And there was one more section. Hold on a second. There was one more. Was this it? No, it just was there. These are the characteristics of an adult indigo. So many of you that will find my channel, and I'm going to read this because it's being recorded on YouTube. So if you want to go back, go follow my channel on YouTube because it's recorded there. If you need to go back and listen to the information, you can do that. But where's the comment? Oh, here we go. It's the Indigo Room on YouTube, the Indigo Room. But I wanted to leave you with the characteristics of an indigo, and you can see if it resonates with you. So adult indigos have these characteristics. They're intelligent, although not necessarily have top grades or degrees, but highly intelligent, extremely intelligent. Okay? I don't have a degree. People always think I do because I'm intelligent. They said, "Where'd you go to college?" I didn't go to college. Well, I did, but I didn't graduate. I got aggravated. And then my mother wouldn't let me go. I was supposed to go to Binghamton. I got a full scholarship. She said no. Okay, so I didn't. I went to local school, and I was just frustrated. I was like, okay, this is not working for me. But I'm highly intelligent, are very creative and enjoy making things, Always need to know why, especially why they are being asked to do something. Had disgust and perhaps loathing for the insanity of much of the required work in school, the repetition, were rebellious in school, refusing to do homework, rejecting authority of teachers, or seriously wanting to rebel but didn't dare, usually due to parental pressure. That was me. May have experienced early existential depression and feelings of helplessness. These may have ranged from sadness to utter despair. Definitely did the suicidal feelings while still in high school. Yep, that was me. Or younger, are not uncommon in the indigo adult. Have difficulty in service-oriented jobs, resistance to authorities, and castle systems of employment, caste system of employment. Prefer cooperative efforts or leadership positions or solo if expertise is valued. Have deep empathy for others, yet an intolerance of stupidity. Extremely emotionally sensitive, including crying at the drop of a hat. I had to learn how to not do that because I would get into trouble for crying at the drop of a hat or be made fun of. Even today, as an adult, I get called, you're too sensitive. I don't care now. Now it doesn't bother me. I'll be like, yeah, all right, whatever. That's my superpower. How you like me now? Crying at the drop of a hat to no expression of emotion, fully shielding. May have trouble with rage, have trouble with most systems, either emotionally, mentally, or physically, political, educational, medical, law. So you have trouble with those systems. Alienation from politics, feeling your voice won't count and that the outcome really doesn't matter anyway. Frustration with or rejection of the traditional American dream, 9-to-5 career, marriage, 2.5 children, house with white picket fence, etc. Anger at rights being taken away, fear and or fury at Big Brother watching you. They feel a need, like a burning desire to do something to change and improve the world, may be stymied what to do. Have psychic or spiritual interests fairly young, in or before teen years. Had a few, if any, indigo role models. Have few, if any, indigo role models. Have strong intuition, random behavior patterns or mind style, symptoms of ADD, attention deficit disorder, may have trouble focusing on a task unless of its own choosing, may jump around in conversation, have had psychic experience such as premonition, seeing angels or ghosts, hearing voices, sexually expressive and inventive, or may reject sexuality in boredom, may explore alternate types of sexuality, seeking meaning to their life and understanding about the world, may seek this through religion, spiritual groups and books, self-help groups or books, or individually. And if they find balance, they may become very strong, healthy, happy light workers. These are my opinions based on the discussion with other indigo adults and my extrapolation from child indicators projected back a generation. She's open to other ideas. You also may find that because you're a high vibrating being, that electronics tend to not last long around you. That happens to me regularly. Although I do have one laptop that's still working, and it never well, it did die, but I brought it back to life. So you may find that electronics don't work properly around you. You may find light bulbs busting sometimes around you whenever you come around. That's because you're vibrating very highly, you have a high aura. You'll find that animals tend to be attracted to you. Babies are attracted to you, like they come to you for, small kids can feel it, sense your energy. Even if you don't have kids, tend to come near you. You may also, have some gifts, but again, gifts are coming online. So some of your gifts are becoming stronger, and some of you didn't have these gifts before, and now they're starting to come online as an indigo. So that is what I wanted to read to you tonight, and hopefully you got something out of it. If you're an indigo, then majority of that should have resonated with you, and if you're not, then maybe you know someone who is, and you can share that with them. Again, you can. Oh, I wanted to say we need 30,000 indigos. 30,000 indigos need to be activating their Merkaba vehicle and clearing their energy. And how are you going to do that? You can do that. Do it. You can do it. You can do it by clicking, if you're watching me on TikTok, clicking my link in my profile. It'll take you to the Indigo Merkaba activation book. It's $7 with the coupon. So you got to click the link and get it for $7. If you go to the indigoroom.org website, it's $11. So don't go there. Click my link in my profile and go there, and it's $7. If you don't have the $7, but you really do need to clear your energy, and this, once you clear it, this works so good, you won't have to do it again. Just saying. So, anybody can use it. Anybody can use these techniques, but this was downloaded specifically for indigos. So you can share it with your family and friends, but I'm telling you, you all have a Merkaba and it has to be activated. But before it gets activated, you have to clear your energy. Otherwise, your Merkaba vehicle will not work properly. Just saying. And it's used to protect your energy. So click my link up here, and it's Linktree, and it will take you to my website where you can get the book for $7. YouTube, if you're watching me on YouTube and you want to get the book, we need 30,000 indigos to activate their Merkaba vehicle, and y'all got to do the energy work and clear your energy before you can do that. But it's really important for you to do that now that we're in this timeline that we're in. If you're in YouTube, you need to click the link that's in the description below. And that's my Linktree, and it will take you. If you do not have the $7, do not get the book. Email me at the indigoroom2@gmail.com. That's the indigoroom2@gmail.com. The link for my email is also in my Linktree. It's also in my Linktree here. So either way, you have a way to get a hold of me. And so if TikTok ever goes away, you still have a way to get a hold of me. Okay? You can join us on a Discord. So you can also become a subscriber so you know when I go live on TikTok, and subscribe to the channel here on YouTube so you know when I go live. So that's the end of the reading today of Who Are the Indigo People. Go to sunfeld.com, read it yourself. I didn't add anything in except my own experiences as I was reading it to you. And have a great night. It was nice meeting you. Love you. Bye. All right, Linda. Okay, let me close this. There we go. Have a good night. Thank you for joining me. And I hope that you got something out of it. This is a long live. So if you're still here, that's a good thing. Click the link down there to get the book. All right. Love you. Bye.